Ms. Heard physically abused him. She's the abuser in this courtroom.
And a lot of people are making comparisons between this case and the infamous battle between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Blake Lively just flipped the spotlight, accusing Justin Baldoni of harassment, and now Amber Heard is jumping in. Her lawyer says Blake's getting trapped just like Amber was. Is this deja vu or a setup repeating itself?
Complains about sexual harassment. He hires a public relations firm. They go out to smear her and destroy her so that when it comes out publicly that she's been complaining about the sexual harassment, she will be discredited. That's their whole philosophy.
However, the big question is it a good thing that Blake is getting so much attention, or is it bad for Justin? Will the world see him as the bad guy now? And what does Amber Heard has to say on all of this Blake versus Justin conflict? A lot of questions, and I have all the answers, so let's dive into the video right away. Amber Heard spoke out against what she called a smear campaign targeting Blake Lively, who recently accused her It Ends With Us director and co-star Justin Baldoni of sexual harassment on set.
Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's on-set partnership has turned into a Hollywood legal nightmare. From harassment allegations to a bitter defamation war, the drama behind It Ends With Us is more than just a movie.
Now, Amber has stepped forward to show her support for Blake in the lawsuit as things are moving quickly in her case. Many fans predict that Blake won't be getting out of this anytime soon because apparently she's now caught in a mess, with Baldoni making moves on his end. This has caused a lot of trouble for Blake and her husband Ryan. According to the complaint, Blake Lively is calling out Justin Baldoni and the studio for launching a calculated scheme to ruin her reputation.
Coordinator, we know that it made no sense that you were then saying there must be an intimacy coordinator on set at all times. And so yes, first you're going to make the sexual harassment threat, and then you're going to go, as you guys did, and they proved in the background, I want this, I want that. If I don't get what I want, I'm not going to show up. He has to be put into the basement. So why are you bolding that? Get somebody brighter.
It all started after she and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, confronted Baldoni and a producer about repeated sexual harassment and other troubling behavior on set.
Because this is where it gets interesting. Again, it's the way they use language. It's just so wildly manipulative. 6 in this lawsuit says the dangerous climate of threats and intimidation fueled by the defendant's retaliation campaign has required Ms. Lively to alter her personal and professional life. So a couple of things here. I don't know how her professional and personal life was altered. It didn't look that way to me when she was posing on the red carpet with her husband and mocking the situation, but let's go with it. The reason why she's setting this up is she says, now I have to take steps to protect innocent bystanders rather than exposing them to further harm, because she's now using this to explain away why no one's joining in on her lawsuit, okay? They're setting that up right at the beginning. Essentially, no one's gonna join in, but just so you know, this is to protect them.
The lawsuit claims that this so-called plan involves spreading rumors on online forums, orchestrating a social media smear campaign, and planting negative news stories about Lively. Blake Lively claims that Justin Baldoni's team tried to ruin her image on purpose. According to her, they spread fake stories online to make her look like the villain, and at the same time, made Baldoni look innocent by boosting his reputation and hiding anything negative about him. She says Baldoni even hired top publicists and crisis managers to lead a huge, well-funded plan to silence her if she ever spoke out. And guess what? Amber Heard's lawyer, Elaine Brittahoff, spoke up too. She said, this is the same PR team Johnny Depp used during the Amber versus Depp case.
Why do you believe that these allegations may have teeth?
Well, first of all, remember this PR team was the same PR team that Depp got back in the Amber Heard and Depp case. Now, most PR firms, you assume, are supposed to promote their client. That's not what this PR firm does. And it's what's clear in Blake Lively's complaint is they do exactly the opposite.
Brittahoff said the team allegedly hired by Baldoni intentionally fabricates stories through TikTok and other social media.
They go out and intentionally fabricate stories, create smear campaigns, and with TikTok and all the other social media, and that's what happened to Amber Heard.
That's what happened to Amber Heard. They went after her to destroy her rather than to try to promote Depp.
They went after after her to destroy her rather than to try to promote Depp. And it worked to a large extent. We had a very conflicted jury. They found in favor of both sides, and they were very confused. But the social media attack on Amber was absolutely horrific. And I'm so glad that Amber has come out in support of Blake Lively.
So, here's a twist. Amber Heard is actually standing with Blake Lively. But for a lot of fans, that's setting off alarm bells. Amber already lost her case against Johnny Depp, and now people are wondering, is Blake heading down the same road? But it's not just Amber's lawyer weighing in anymore. Johnny Depp's powerhouse attorney, Benjamin Chew, has now entered the chat. On Law and Crime Sidebar with Jesse Weber, Chew, who helped Depp win the defamation trial, shared his thoughts on Justin Baldoni's bold move. Baldoni launched a website with a full timeline defending himself against Blake's harassment claims. Chew called it very aggressive, almost like a warning shot, suggesting Baldoni isn't just defending himself, he's going on the attack. I think it very aggressive, he commented.
Pretty bold. Well, you think that's a good idea? Wise decision? What do you make of that?
I agree. Bold, aggressive, chutzpah.
Usually you would not do something like that before a hearing, but I'm sure that they vetted it carefully, vetted the material carefully, Chew continued. Certainly posting a pleading doesn't seem to me to be out of bounds. These are pleadings made in the public record. The lawyer didn't hold back, calling Baldoni's latest move to distance himself from the serious allegations bold.
I think it is very aggressive. Usually you would not do something like that before a hearing, but I'm sure that they vetted it carefully. They vetted the material carefully. Certainly posting a pleading doesn't seem to me to be out of bounds. These are pleadings made in the public record.
As for the legal showdown, Blake Lively and Baldoni are set to face off in court in March 2026, following Lively's lawsuit in December and Baldoni's countersuits. However, at this point, many celebrities have now sided with Justin. Joe Rogan calls out Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds as he backs Justin Baldoni. He didn't hold back his thoughts on the legal drama. On a recent episode of The Joe Rogan Experience, the podcast host criticized the Hollywood couple, claiming their lawsuit against Baldoni over It Ends With Us has ruined their reputation.
Been following the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively thing?
Bro, Blake Lively, talk about ruining your reputation, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, they f***ed up. Ryan's trying to get out of it now. He's trying to get out of the lawsuit, and they're like, you were a key part of this.
Rogan backed up Baldoni's claims, hinting that Lively's sexual harassment allegations might be part of a bigger plan for her and Reynolds to take over the film adaptation.
It's a couple books.
Fuck,
The whole
man.
thing's crazy.
They're fucked.
And he's suing the New York Times, and he's got a great case
He's
there,
going hard
too.
in the paint. But
He
that's
should.
what it takes.
That's what it takes.
It's like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Yeah.
He did for the bull.
Brendan Schaub, a guest on the episode, weighed in, saying that Baldoni's best bet now is to go all in and fight hard in court.
Going out like this.
Yeah, especially a guy like that. It was like known as being like this really sweet, nice guy.
Yep.
And then it's like, all right.
Dude.
Rogan pointed out that challenging Hollywood heavyweights like Reynolds and Lively isn't something most people in the industry would dare to do. What really stood out to him, though, was Baldoni's unapologetic approach to defending himself. At 41, he's laying everything out in the open, armed with receipts. Rogan referenced messages suggesting that Lively had invited Baldoni into her trailer while she was pumping, contradicting her later claim that he entered without permission while she was breastfeeding. You literally have a text exchange back and forth, Rogan continued. They just never thought that anybody was going to come out with the receipts.